Hello.
Hey, everybody. I'm Julie.
And I'm Tricia.
And this is the And She Laughs podcast.
And laughter is what we're going for today.
Yeah, we are going to laugh to keep from crying, guys.
Because sometimes that's where you're at.
Yeah, and that's where we're at. I feel like the month of May is so like the month of December that we just pack as much stuff as we possibly can.
Yeah, but it's kind of worse because in December you're like working towards a goal, and there's like all of this, like the thought of the Christmas dinner and the gifts and you're not really like blindsided by how busy December is. For some reason, May is so deceivingly crazy.
It's the silent time stealer. Like it just sneaks up on you.
And it's just been
everyone
insane.
Gets married. Everyone has birthdays, graduation, all the end of the school year
Mother's
stuff.
Day.
So here we are. This is where we are.
Things.
Yep. We have fun things to offer you today. So let's jump in. So like we said, we're going to laugh today. We actually have some really fun stories to tell you about our lives.
We think they're fun.
They're really funny. And if you get something spiritual out of it, that's a bonus.
That is great.
We love the Lord. We love the Lord, and we love telling you about our real lives. With that said, it's been a crazy busy month.
It has been.
And so we've had 0 family days together. So a couple weeks ago, we decided we were going to take the kids to the zoo. We had one Saturday in this entire month. One Saturday in this entire month. And that's hard because you build that up in your head. You're like, dang it, you're going to have fun.
I am paying $20 a person for you to look at monkeys.
It's real.
And you're going to love it.
$27 a person to look at a monkey. That's fine. I love monkeys, but that's a lot of money. So we're driving to the zoo. We're going. It takes about, hour 15, hour 20 minutes to get to the zoo that we were going to. And so we get off the exit and we're getting really close. And Lily, of course, says, I gotta poop.
Okay.
And, Ben has called her bluff on that before. It didn't go good for him. He called her bluff on it, and she left him a prize in her car seat. So we try not to do that, but Ben's like, Lily, we literally have 6 minutes until we get to the zoo. And she's like, I gotta poop. So, of course, the only place is this ratchet gas station.
Right.
Okay.
Obviously. Yeah.
Where I don't want her to touch anything. And of course I'm carrying her into the gas station. I'm going through all of that. We don't touch anything. We don't, whatever.
We're not going to buy candy.
We're not buying candy. This is a poop stop and that's it. Potty break time. So we get in there, and I pour hand sanitizer all over the toilet seat and rub it and clean it. If you are a germaphobe, I am going to tell you this is the part where you just want to go ahead and skip ahead 3.5 minutes because you don't want to hear this story. I'm just telling you right now. Just move along. Just move along. So Lily, I get her on the potty and, she's just chatting away. She is telling me about everything, about her teacher and about kids in her class.
Yeah.
And she's just talking. And I can hear that people are lining up outside because, this is probably the only toilet for anybody to go to ever. Sure. In the world. And I can hear all kinds of different languages coming from outside the door. So I know it's multiple groups of families waiting.
And let me say
for this potty.
We didn't grow up in a home where our mom would be chill in this situation. Like our mom, similar to Julie, a little bit of people pleasing there. And so when we would be in these situations as kids, we would feel the stress of our mom.
This is high pressure, people.
There's people in a line
this is high pressure
to move. And so there is no like,
there's no thought process in my head. Like, I'm going to let her finish out her business. I'm like, Lily,
push harder.
Are you done? Are you done? Lily, are you done? Okay, this is a great story, Lil. Hey, Lil, this is a great story, baby. But are you done? Hey,
Zero
baby.
chill.
And she's like, nope. You know, like that's Lily. So I think it's an important part for me to tell you now in this story that Lily is very much a hand talker. Like she waves her hands and talks.
Okay.
Well, Georgia had made her this charm bracelet.
There's just only one reason you would preface that.
You got it. She has the silver duck charm. That's her favorite charm on this bracelet. And as she is talking and waving her hands, I hear plunk into the gas station toilet. It's her favorite silver duck charm into this toilet that is full.
Okay.
And listen, she starts screaming like I'm murdering her. And I'm going, hey, shh, it's okay.
Myself and our listeners need a couple of clarifications.
Okay, go ahead.
Was this
Tricia, you already have mascara like coming down your face here. This is fun.
Was this like a solid situation, or was this an upset? Or was this like an upset?
It's kind of in between, guys.
Okay.
It's kind of 50-50. Okay. So anyway, I will tell you I could see the charm. Okay. I could see the glistening silver charm. So I'm thinking,
like floating?
No,
okay.
It's metal.
Okay.
Definitely sank.
Okay.
She's screaming like I'm hurting her.
Right.
Okay. With all these people outside the door. And I'm like, please, oh my God, please, could you stop screaming? And I look over in the trash can and I'm like, oh, by the grace of God, there was a plastic spoon in the trash can. Okay. I know a lot of you would just been like, well, that's it. The duck charm is gone. I really do get that. But those of you who are saying that in your head, you do not know Lily Ragsdale. You do not know her. She would have told people for years to come how I lost her duck charm in a gas station toilet.
Fair.
Okay? And so anyway, I go to scoop it out. It's just too deep. You know, I have to dip just a little bit, but I get it out. I get it in the sink. I wash it with soap. You know what I'm saying? And I get it all clean. I wash my hand like 7 times. We get out of there, okay? And I've got the duck charm. You know, I've poured hand sanitizer all over it. And I'm just going to let it sit. I actually like put it in the sunshine. But as we're going out, you know, Lily says, as we're passing all these people in line, Mommy got my duck charm out of my poop toilet.
Great.
And I was like,
thank you.
Oh my gosh. So I said, hey, can we please not tell anybody about this? Can we please not tell anybody about this?
As you share on a podcast.
Well, hey, I'm going to tell you why. Because we get to the car and Lily puts her little hand over her mouth like she has a big secret. And Isla goes, what is it? And Lily goes, well, I'm going to tell him. I went, Lily, no, we don't need to talk about this. We don't need to talk. And she goes, Mom dug my duck charm out of the potty. I'm like, great. Can we not tell anybody about this?
Oh, there's that.
So Sunday rolls around and she pulls a Tricia, because I don't know if you heard last episode. Tricia liked to pray for everyone. at church. That's how people found out my mom was pregnant. And she tells everybody in her class, my mom got the duck charm out of the toilet.
Well, there's that.
She tells Silvana, one of the girls on our staff. She tells everyone, literally everyone. And so then I started being asked questions on text messages about, so exactly where were you when you dug this duck charm out of the toilet? Anyway, so
I was not in the safety and privacy of my own home.
So today we're talking about casting our cares upon Jesus.
We are. Let's hear that segue.
I'm so good at segues. That's it.
Let's hear the connection.
It's not a segue. It is a hard left turn.
Okay.
It's hard left. Some things that you cast upon Jesus should stay there, guys. It should go and you should flush it.
All right. Well, my funny story, I can segue to casting your cares on the Lord a little bit better.
Don't y'all be texting me about the duck charm. That's all I got.
Please do.
Stop.
So my funny story, because we kind of agreed that we were going to tell a couple funny stories. This actually happened a couple years ago. And our church was having like Wednesday night trainings that Danny had to be at. I didn't have to be at it. And so I was home, and we had two dogs, George and Walter. We like naming our dogs after people. We like for our neighbors to think that we're screaming at people in the backyard. And so I'm laying on the couch, no big deal. But all of a sudden, like, Walter jumps up. He springs to life, all fours, and starts growling at the back door, and he barks. Well, the house that we're in has a screened-in porch right off the back door. And as he barks, the screened-in the door, like, opens and slams shut. And I'm like, there's an intruder. Walter loses his mind, charges the door, is scratching the door, barking his head off. And I'm like, there was somebody on my back porch. And so I get like really like anxious, but then I'm like, no, you are Tricia freaking Thayer, and nobody's coming on your back porch. So,
oh gosh. You're so feisty.
I ran into the kitchen and I grabbed the two largest knives that I could. And I walked out on my back porch.
Good idea.
As crazy psycho as I could muster or look, I start waving the knives and I go, hey!
Like she's a hibachi chef.
I said, somebody's home and she's crazy.
I would have run for my life.
That was the plan. The plan was, next house, please. So I stand there with my knives poised for action. I don't hear anything. I don't hear wrestling. I don't, So I go back in the house and I shut the door, but my hands are shaking, obviously.
Right.
And I text Danny and I'm like, hey, there was just somebody on our back porch.
Oh my gosh.
I think I scared them, but I would love for you to come home. And Danny texts back and he's like, did you look on the back porch? And I was like, yeah, I checked it out, Anyway, he was like, good. Make sure your doors are locked. I'm headed home. If I were trying to sound spiritual, I would say I did pray. I did pray for peace, and I did. But mostly, I think that as the adrenaline came down, the fact that it was 8:30 at night has always, or never mixed well with Tricia. Tricia wants to be asleep at 8:30 at night. So I laid my little head down on my bed, and I fell asleep. So I wake up. I don't know, but I really think just the adrenaline came down. I would love to say that I had the peace of the Lord, like I had handed this to him and I felt assured that I would live. I don't know. But I wake up because we had a very steep driveway in this house, and I hear Danny's car bottoming out like thundering up that driveway. And I look down and I have 7 missed calls. I'm like, oh my God, he thinks I'm dead. He thinks I've been raped. He thinks and I'm like, I am in
deep
so much trouble.
She's the duck charm.
So I walked to the back of the house, and the way that the door was is that there was like a square window that was kind of, head tall, and he comes barreling through, and we make eye contact through that window. And he is, God, love, my knight in shining armor has come to slay my dragon. And he tries to open the door, but it's locked. And I'm like looking down at the doorknob, and I'm looking at him through the window, and he goes, Tricia, open this door. And I just shook my head no. And he said, and he goes, Tricia. So I opened the door, and he goes, where is your phone?
He thought you were dead.
And I went,
oh, sister.
And I said, are you coming to save me? And he is angry. And he goes, we are not having a moment right now.
Oh, Tricia.
For all of you who are wondering about, the intruder, there was a raccoon that I didn't see the hole. It had dug in our screen-in porch, but we did have dog food on the screen-in porch.
Oh.
And it didn't make a noise when it came in through the door because, it's coming in. But when Walter must have heard it in the food, and when he barked, it got its little fat tummy stuck on the door, and so it opened and slammed. And it did come in a couple of nights later, which is how we kind of figured out what had happened. I have a spiritual segue. I don't know if you're going to appreciate it.
But wait, because Ben listens to these episodes.
Okay.
And I know you're listening. It's just something in our DNA, babe. I don't know what to tell you.
Ben and Danny have looked at each other and shared very deep looks of, we signed up for this.
Understanding of each other, because my mother was like this. I know you have a spiritual segue, but my first date, which wasn't really even a date, you had a piano recital at Montevallo. Mm-hmm. Do you remember this?
I do.
And we had this.
I was in 6th grade.
She was in 6th grade. I was in 8th grade, and it was my first boyfriend. And Mom was like, does this boy? I'm not going to name his name because there's a lot of listeners. From Baby Dad. Oops, swallow that, Tricia. So anyway, she was like, does he want to go with us to Montevallo for Tricia's concert? And the van that my mom drove at the time was a stick shift. And so anyway, he had this really huge, nice house, it's enormous, nice house. And we pull up at his house to pick him up. And on the way there, Mom had stopped to get some knee highs. For all of you who don't know what knee high are, they're pantyhose that stop at your knees, they're like socks, but not socks. They're pantyhose. She had gotten some knee highs, and she had put her knee highs on in the car, to be at the recital. So pulled into the driveway. The driveway was on a hill, and she hops out to introduce herself to the parents, and realizes that her pants are tucked into her knee highs. Mm-hmm. And then I'm dying.
Yes.
Of embarrassment. In the front yard. I'm dead. absolutely did.
It wasn't great.
So she starts pulling her pants out of her knee highs when the dad says, your van is moving. Mom had forgot to put the parking brake on.
And the van was rolling backwards down the driveway.
So she's running down the driveway, trying to pull her pants out of her knee highs and get to the van. And she jumps into the van going, oh goodness, whoopsie, let me get this. And she jumps in and she, so we get this. Like we
know who we are.
We know who we are. We're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine with who we are, guys.
And now that we're several years into this, our husbands also know who we are. We probably did
bless their hearts.
Convince them to some degree before they married us that they were getting a little bit more put together, more well-rounded, human than, but I do remember, after Danny and I got married, I remember one day he just asked me if I was like going to shower, and I was like, shh,
Tricia.
Don't ask questions that you don't want answers to.
What's the craziest part about us is like, you never know what you're going to get. Like if you're going to get like our dad was so put together.
Right.
Like I'm talking about so put together.
Organized.
I'm talking about
planner.
Creases in the pants. He starch. Like he was starch. My dad.
He had a plan. If we were at the theater, he knew where the exits were. Like when we cleaned out his car, he had a grab bag in his car. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like just in case. Yeah.
He needed it. You know what I mean? Like he was the most put together guy you've ever. And so we have that. That's we're half.
There. It's in there.
Half of us is that. But then the other half of us is Nancy. And we love Nancy. I love that Nancy. Part of myself.
And so many people love Nancy. And
like she's so loved. So loved. But like, you never know what you're going to get with
okay,
us.
So Danny, one time when we were because Danny and I lived in Memphis, so we were home for like a Christmas break, and Danny was asking me if we could leave. We were going to meet somebody, and anyway, I had gone back to the bathroom, and so Danny said he sat on the couch, and he just kind of was like, and he said, my dad looked over at him and went, son, it doesn't get better. And then he said, we shared a profound moment.
Y'all, it's so, you never know what you're going to get.
No.
Like some days.
And here's the thing. Our mom has some OCD qualities to her.
Right.
She also has some very put together pieces of her where,
absolutely.
that are ingrained in us.
She
also
leads our grief share group at church, and she disciples people
and does phenomenal
and leads and champions people through their grief. Like, who can do that? She can.
Yeah.
She's amazing. And she's so incredible.
But then
she's also like the person who leaves her phone in the refrigerator. In the refrigerator.
And then like the next generation one-ups that. I left my phone in the refrigerator of Target. So there's that. I also we have a huge outreach every year called MCGC, and it used to be that we had sites, and Danny and I were the site directors for one of the schools, and we were passing out bikes for families for Christmas. And I had done several of the different teams. There's like a wrapping team, there's a loading team, there, all these different things. And I had helped load someone's bike into their truck. And I'm just having the best, most spiritual day. I had hugged this woman and we had cried. Like, it was beautiful. And a few minutes later,
I just know where this is going.
A few minutes later, there's a sheriff that's there, and he comes up laughing because this woman is back, and I was like, oh my gosh, hi. And they had unfortunately gone to Danny first because the woman couldn't remember my name. She just remembered,
Dang it.
Right? Like, why couldn't you just find me first?
Darn
it. She just kept telling the sheriff, me no steal pastor's wife phone. Me no steal. Me no steal. Like, and I had left my phone in her truck when I loaded this bike in her truck. The problem is that my phone still to this day, it also holds my credit card, my driver's license, and so.
Well, not after this episode airs. Apparently she's going to have to change that.
We were, my husband was like, Tricia. And I was like, I don't even know how it happened. I just think that we were praying and like, anyway.
Do you know what the greatest thing is though? Like Ben has like real diagnosed OCD. And it's fabulous. He balances me so beautifully. I mean, he really does. I need it. I need him in my life. Yeah. Or our house would be like a whimsical nightmare. You know, like.
I hear that.
You know what I mean? I probably have like flowers hanging from the ceiling. Like I love decorating and events. I mean, like every time I come home on the weekend, I've got something else that I've brought home. Like, thank you, Vanessa, for the columns. I love them. They're in my garage. Love them. I brought home columns. 4 amazing columns I'm going to be able to use for Tricia's baby shower. Going to be amazing. Yes. Rock on. But I have to hide them. You know what I'm saying? Or there's like, you know, the threat.
We both married men that were similar to our dad.
Super put together. So nothing thrills me more than when he loses something.
Oh, that kind of joy. Or if he's looking for something.
And I know exactly where it is. Or he's like, hey, babe, you said that the cumin was in the spice cabinet and I don't see it. And I'm like,
oh, it is.
Oh,
it is.
Honey, bless his heart. Oh, bless his little heart.
Okay.
Come on over here.
When I was in college, I worked at a dirt cheap. If you don't know what a dirt cheap is, I'm so sorry. But I did. I worked at a dirt cheap, and what they used to do, they don't really do this anymore, but what they used to do is when they would have clearance, they would literally, you could fill an entire buggy for $1.
$1.
And I will also say that my store manager was a horrible manager. She actually got investigated. She was fired. But if she found out that like management was coming, she would just be like, anything on the floors, throw it in a buggy, $1. So I'd be like, oh, I've been looking at these candles, and I'd put the candles in my $1 buggy. But another thing that they do is if you're getting like a new shipment of Target stuff, the Target things that are on the floor, you have to clearance them. You cannot have an old and a new shipment from Target on the floor at the same time. Well, we had this shipment from Target that showed up, but we had not put the previous shipment from Target, which was furniture. We had never put it on the floor. So she was like, everything's $1. And I call mom and I'm like, bring the truck.
I remember this day. It was amazing.
Mom brings the truck and we are loading like shelves.
You need also know Tricia and I were raised. We didn't have anything. Like we didn't. There were times we went to thrift stores with mom and dad and they were like, you can have that, but you can't have that. Like we had to pick and choose. Right. So when Tricia worked at Dirt Cheap, like we couldn't even walk in our room, the piles of clothes. We loved clothes.
I actually started doing Tricia's trunk sales at college. And I would sell things. It's real.
She would sell things out of her trunk and she just became the most amazing entrepreneur.
My dad got so mad. He's
like, nothing else.
He would literally, he would come out to my car and check my car at night. So when I was pulling into the driveway, I would stop at the end of the driveway and put trash bags of clothes out by the road.
Behind the shrubs.
So that Dad, when he checked my car, he wouldn't see it.
And she would get in, hey, and call me and go, hey, when you're pulling in, There's
grab
2
the bags.
black garbage bags by the mailbox behind the shrubs.
But it's like Gap and Old Navy and the Banana Republic.
And here we are at the 30-minute mark, Tricia, and we've shared 0 things spiritual with you guys. Maybe you just needed a laugh today.
Well, my spiritual segue was about trusting in man more than I trusted in the Lord. Going back to like 10 minutes ago when I was telling my story about
the knives.
Anyway.
Oh, guys. Well, if you do want to
we've been talking about doing like a variety show. So I think that we'll just rename this. She casted her stories. It's a work in progress. I'm going to think about it.
Hey guys, if you're still listening, we love you so much.
Yeah. If you're still listening, you love us.
Yeah, we love you.
And we love you.
Hope you needed a good laugh today.
Next week, we're going to come in swinging.
Yeah, we're actually going to talk out of James 1. Like that's where
that sounds really good.
Yeah, James
I had
1.
a verse from Lamentations. I really had
we had good stuff.
Great intention.
But this is it. Love you.
Love you. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time on the And She Laughs podcast.
Bye.